Losing a spouse is supposed to be a time of quiet reflection, right? Wrong. For many seniors in America, it's a whirlwind of tough choices that hit you when you're already down. You'd think the hardest part is the grief, but it's not. It's the mistakes that sneak up afterward. One wrong move, and you could lose your home, your savings, or even your health. Studies show 60% of widows and widowers make a major financial blunder within a year of their spouse's passing, according to the AARP. That's not just a number, it's a wake-up call. You don't expect to be sorting out wills, dodging scams, or deciding whether to sell the house you raised your kids in, all while you're still crying yourself to sleep. But here's the twist. You don't have to fall into those traps. In this video, we're flipping the script, starting with the biggest mistake that could cost you everything and working down to the small stuff that still stings. These aren't just tips, they're lifelines to keep your money safe, your body strong, and your heart steady. Stick with me because by the end, you'll see how to turn a tough time into a smarter start. Ready? Let's dive in. 1. Ignoring the need to update important legal papers. When your spouse passes away, the last thing you want to think about is paperwork. Bills are piling up, the house feels empty, and your heart's still breaking. But here's the kicker. Ignoring those legal documents like wills, insurance policies, or bank accounts can turn a tough time into a total mess. Too many folks just let it slide, thinking it can wait, but that's where the trouble starts. If you don't update things fast, you could end up with family fights over who gets what, or worse, lose out on money you're entitled to. Take Mrs. Evelyn, a 70-year-old from Nevada. She didn't update her husband's life insurance after he passed, figuring it wasn't urgent. When she died a few years later, the $50,000 policy went straight to a distant cousin instead of her daughter because the old beneficiary was still listed. That's not just a mistake, it's a heartbreak that could have been avoided. Research from the Social Security Administration shows over 30% of widows miss out on benefits, sometimes $1,500 a month, simply because they didn't check their options. And it's not just about money. An outdated will can leave your kids battling in court or your house stuck in limbo. So, what's the fix? Get on it within 6 months. Call a lawyer or swing by your county clerk's office to review that will and house title. Update who gets what on your bank accounts, 401k, and insurance papers. It takes an afternoon, not a lifetime. Then dial up Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 to see if you're due extra cash each month. Could be a game changer for your grocery budget or meds. Sure, it's a hassle when you're grieving, but this isn't about paperwork. It's about keeping your family safe and your future secure. Predators love targeting seniors who skip this step, sniffing out confusion to swoop in with shady deals. Don't let them win. Get those papers sorted, and you'll sleep better knowing your spouse's wishes and your own are locked in tight. Trust me, this one's too big to put off. Neglecting your health and well-being. Losing your spouse knocks the wind out of you, and it's easy to let your health slide when you're drowning in grief. Skipping meals, forgetting doctor visits, or ditching that morning walk you used to love. But here's the hard truth. Letting yourself go doesn't just feel bad, it can wreck you. When you're hurting, cooking a proper dinner might seem pointless, so you grab a burger from the drive-thru or skip eating altogether. Next thing you know, you're too tired to climb the stairs, and your blood pressure's creeping up past 140/90, numbers that doctors say put you at risk for heart trouble, especially after 65. Mr. Thomas, an 81-year-old from Ohio, found this out the hard way after his wife passed. He stopped bothering with meals, living on chips and soda, and soon he was so wiped out he could barely get out of bed. His son stepped in, pushing him to eat simple stuff like oatmeal with berries and drink more water, small changes that got his energy back and steadied his mood. Studies show losing a spouse can spike your chances of heart issues by 20% in the first year if you don't watch yourself. It's not just food. Missing checkups or letting your daily 15-minute stroll fade away can snowball into bigger problems like diabetes or memory slip-ups. So what's the move? Keep it basic. Grab some cereal and fruit for breakfast. Take a short walk around the block, even if it's just to the mailbox and back. Call your doctor. Medicare covers your yearly visit, so use it to check your ticker and meds. Feeling down for weeks? Dial Medicare's helpline for a free chat with a counselor. It's no shame to ask for a boost. Your spouse would hate seeing you run yourself ragged, and you've got to be strong to handle what's ahead. Bills, family, all of it. This isn't about being perfect. It's about staying in the game. Grief's heavy enough without your body giving out, so take care of yourself. You're worth it. 3. Making big financial decisions too soon. When your spouse passes, the world feels shaky, and it's tempting to jump into big money moves, like selling the house or cashing out your savings, just to feel some control. But hold on, because rushing those choices can backfire big time. Grief clouds your head, and what seems smart today might leave you kicking yourself tomorrow. Take Mrs. Clara, a 74-year-old from Florida. She lost her husband, and within 3 months, sold their 3-bedroom home worth $300,000, thinking a smaller condo would simplify things. She moved fast, pushed by family saying it was too much house, but later she missed the backyard where her grandkids played and the neighbors who'd become family. Now she's stuck regretting a decision made in a fog. Experts say over half of folks in their first year of widowhood make a financial misstep they can't undo. Selling low, investing in risky schemes, or giving cash to kids without a plan. Scammers love this window too, sniffing out vulnerable seniors with fake deals, promising quick fixes that drain your 401k. The fix? Hit pause. Give yourself a solid 12 months before touching anything big like the house, stocks, or retirement funds. That's the 1-year rule financial advisors swear by, letting the dust settle so you can think straight. If someone's pressuring you to sign papers or move money fast, step back and call a certified financial planner, someone with CFP after their name, to double-check your options. Don't hand out cash to grandkids or charities right away either. Figure out your monthly bills first, like that $2,000 for rent and meds, so you're not strapped later. Clara wishes she'd waited, and you can bet she'd tell you the same. Your spouse worked hard to build that nest egg with you. Rushing now could unravel it all. Sure, it feels good to act decisive when everything's upside down, but slow and steady keeps you safe. This isn't about stalling. It's about making sure your money lasts as long as you do. Take a breath. You've got time to get it right. 4. Shutting yourself off from friends and family. After losing your spouse, it's natural to want to hole up, turn off the phone, skip the family barbecue, and tell yourself you just need space. But pulling away too long can dig you into a deeper hole than you realize. Grief's a heavy load, and going it alone makes it heavier. You might not see it right away, but the loneliness creeps in, turning quiet days into something darker. Mr. James, a 78-year-old from Texas, learned this the tough way. He stopped answering calls after his wife passed, figuring no one could understand his pain. Months dragged by, and instead of feeling better, he felt worse. Tired, down, and stuck. With his blood pressure climbing past 130/85, a warning sign doctors linked to isolation. Then a neighbor dragged him out for coffee, and that one chat sparked a weekly habit that pulled him back from the edge, not erasing the hurt, but making it bearable. Studies show staying cut off can bump up depression odds by 25% for seniors. And it's not just your mind, your body takes a hit too. The fix isn't about forcing yourself into big crowds. Start small. Pick up when your daughter calls, say yes to a 10-minute walk with a buddy, or sit in on a support group at the local community center. You don't have to spill your guts. Just being around folks can lighten the load. James found even listening to chatter helped remind him life's still moving, and that's half the battle. Don't shove away the people who care. Your son might not have the right words, but him dropping by with pizza beats staring at the walls alone. If you're really struggling, check out a widows group through AARP. They get it, and you might too. Shutting the door feels safe, but it's a trap. Your spouse wouldn't want you fading out like that. This isn't about faking happy. It's about keeping a lifeline open so you don't sink. One step, one call, it's enough to start. You're not as alone as you think. 5. Turning down help from the community or experts. When your spouse is gone, it's tempting to tough it out solo, telling yourself you don't need a hand with meals, bills, or just getting through the day. Pride kicks in, and you figure asking for help means you're weak. So you skip the senior center meetups or wave off the neighbor offering to mow the lawn. But here's the catch. Going it alone doesn't make you stronger. It can wear you out faster than you think. Mr. Walter, a 79-year-old from Oregon, found this out after losing his wife. He said no to every offer, thinking he'd manage cooking and chores like always. Months later, he was drowning in stress, barely eating, and juggling bills that piled up to $1,500. A buddy finally talked him into trying Meals on Wheels, and that free hot lunch, not to mention the friendly delivery chat, saved him time and cash he didn't know he could spare. Turns out, over 40% of seniors miss out on free community perks like food delivery or tax breaks, according to AARP, just because they don't ask. Saying no also means skipping experts, counselors, or financial advisors who could lighten your load. Medicare covers most therapy sessions if you're feeling lost, and a quick call to 1-888-RAARP can hook you up with free advice on everything from budgets to grief. Walter's stubborn streak almost cost him his health, and he'd tell you now it wasn't worth it. Help's out there. Senior centers host coffee mornings, churches run support groups, and even the Salvation Army can pitch in with odd jobs. You don't have to sign up for everything. Just try one thing, like a library talk or a neighbor's casserole. Your spouse wouldn't want you struggling when folks are ready to step up. Think of it as them looking out for you through others. This isn't charity. It's a lifeline you've earned after years of hard work. Leaning on help doesn't mean you're giving up control. It means you're smart enough to save your energy for what matters. One yes could turn a rough day around, so why not give it a shot? You might be surprised how good it feels. 6. Rushing into a new relationship. After your spouse passes, the quiet can hit hard. Those empty evenings and solo dinners make you ache for someone to fill the void, and suddenly dating apps or a friend's setup sound like the fix. But jumping in too quick can stir up more trouble than comfort. Grief messes with your heart, and it's easy to latch onto someone new just to dodge the loneliness, not because you're really ready. Mrs. Betty, a 72-year-old from Arizona, felt this sting. She met a guy through a pal a few months after losing her husband of 45 years, diving in because his company drowned out the silence. At first, it was nice, dinners, chats, but soon it sped up too fast, and she felt trapped, realizing she hadn't healed enough to share her life again. She ended it, wishing she'd waited. Stats back this up. The FBI says romance scams snag seniors out of $300 million a year, preying on folks fresh off a loss with sweet talk and fake promises. Some even lose $10,000 before catching on. Rushing can also leave you comparing your new flame to your spouse, which isn't fair to anyone. So, slow down. There's no clock on this. Wait until you're steady, not just lonely, before swiping on Match.com or saying yes to a date. If someone's pushing you to commit quick or asking for cash, like that $500 emergency via PayPal, hit the brakes and run it by your kids or a trusted buddy first. Betty learned she needed time to breathe, maybe a year or two, before trying again, and it saved her more heartache. Your spouse left a big space, and that's okay. Rushing won't fill it right. Scammers aside, even honest folks can't heal you if you're not ready. Chat with family about how you're feeling. They'll help you gauge when it's time. Love's great down the road, but only when you're in it for the right reasons, not just to patch a hole. Give yourself that grace. Your next chapter deserves a solid start, not a shaky one. Take it easy. You'll know when you're good to go. 7. Holding on to every possession without letting go. When your spouse is gone, their stuff, those shirts in the closet, the tools in the garage, that chair they loved, feels like the last piece of them you've got left. And letting go seems like losing them all over again. But hanging on to every single thing can weigh you down more than you think. It's not just clutter. It turns your home into a museum of sadness, keeping you stuck instead of moving forward. Mr. Harold, a 76-year-old from Michigan, lived this after his wife of 55 years passed. He left her shoes by the door, her coats hanging up, everything untouched, thinking it kept her close. Months turned into a year, and walking by her stuff every day didn't comfort him. It dragged him back to the pain, making his 1,200 square foot house feel like a tomb. He finally started small, kept her wedding ring and a photo, then donated her clothes to Goodwill. And that first step lifted a load he didn't know he was carrying. Studies say holding on to too much can spike stress levels by 15% for seniors, especially when it's tied to grief. You don't have to ditch everything. Nobody's saying that. But keeping it all can choke your space and your spirit. Start easy. Pick a few treasures, maybe her scarf or his watch, and box them up nice. When you're ready, not when your kids nag you, sort the rest. Give it to family who will cherish it, or a charity that'll put it to use. Harold found peace passing on her sweaters to a shelter, turning memories into something warm for someone else. Don't let guilt trick you into thinking letting go means forgetting. It doesn't. Your spouse isn't in those old socks. They're in your heart, and no one can take that. Hanging on too tight just makes your days harder, especially if you're hobbling around a cluttered house with a bad knee. Take your time, weeks, months, whatever works, but don't let their stuff trap you. It's not betrayal, it's breathing room so you can live with the love, not the load. Harold's lighter now, and you can be too, just one box at a time. In short, losing your spouse flips your world upside down, but dodging these 7 mistakes can keep you steady when everything else feels shaky. From locking down your legal papers to letting go of that old sweater, every step counts, protecting your cash, your health, and your heart. You don't have to figure it all out overnight. Grief's a marathon, not a sprint, and you're tougher than you think. Skipping these slip-ups isn't about forgetting your spouse. It's about honoring them by living smart and strong, the way they'd want you to. Picture this, a future where you're not buried in bills, loneliness, or clutter, but standing tall with a little peace and maybe even a smile. Share what hit home for you in the comments. Your story could lift someone else up. Hit subscribe, pass this on, and let's keep going together. You're not alone in this.